Hello everyone, and this is BioPhoenix here, and today I wanted to do a random topic on something that I thought was pretty interesting. So I'm sure we all know that fan translations are definitely one of the greatest things that comes out of emulation. Because there is a ton of interesting games out there that unfortunately never got released outside of Japan, and also have lots of texts. So I really am thankful for all the ones that have put their time and effort into making these fan translations possible. But of course, doing a fan translation for video games is not as easy as you might think. It is a lot more complicated than just, changing the language from Japanese to English. There's a lot of programming involved too. But anyways, for this video, I wanted to just list some random games that I thought looked really interesting, but unfortunately have yet to receive a fan translation, and I'm pretty sure a lot of these games probably won't get one for a very long time because they are very, very obscure, even for Japanese only stuff. But you never know, maybe someone else out there might actually start up a project on one, and that would be really cool. But of course, I don't expect it to happen overnight, but anyways though. Here's some random games that I feel would be really cool if they got translated. So the first one I want to mention is Soldner's Child. I probably fucked up the name on that one, but you're looking at the way how it's spelled on the bottom, and also here's the front cover, so you can't be confused on what the fuck I'm talking about. But I really have to mention that the front cover of this game is fucking awesome looking. In fact, the art was actually done by Ayama Kojima, the same one that does the artwork for the Castlevania series. So yeah, this game is a tactical RPG, and it is made by Koei, which is interesting, but it doesn't play like their other tactical simulation games like Nobunaga's Ambition or Romance of Three Kingdoms. No, this looks like a pretty traditional one. And as you know me, I do like my traditional tactical RPGs, like stuff like Fire Emblem and Final Fantasy Tactics and all that stuff. So yeah, the fact that I really like the artwork for this game, and I also like tactical RPGs, is really what makes me interested in wanting to play it. So the next one I want to mention is Desperia. So this one looks like a horror RPG that came from Atlas on the Dreamcast. I actually did try out the beginning of this game just to see how it went, and well, yeah, I couldn't progress very far, but I really did like the music and what I've seen of visually. It actually looked really fucking cool, and very creepy. Yeah, this game has a lot of really screwed up looking enemy designs, but that's really what makes it very intriguing for me, so yeah, hopefully one day we'll see this one. Okay, so the next one we have is another really weird ass name, so do forgive me if I do mispronounce it, which I probably will, and that's I've had Tovo Motogari, which is on the Super Famicom. So this is an adventure game that was actually based after a novel from way back in the day. So the very colorful graphics is one thing that also gets me interested, and also I actually have heard some songs off the OST, and it was really fucking good. So yeah, this is not really a game that you would play for action. This looks like something that you just want to play just for the experience of the story. So yeah, I'm very intrigued. So the next one I want to mention is Records of Lotus War on the PC Engine. Now yes, I am aware of the one on the Dreamcast, which did come out over here, and I still have yet to play that game, but it is one that is on my to-do list. But I found that this PC Engine version does look really cool for that. Not only do I like the visuals of it, because I do love the graphics for a lot of PC Engine CD games, but also the music in it also sounded really great too, from what I remember. Also, from what I watched of Records of Lotus War, it was pretty damn good. I really should finish it one of these days. And I do believe there are other games based after this anime on other systems, but I'm not sure if they're like the same game or if they're like a different game entirely, but either way though, I'd still like to see them get translated eventually. And next up is something you probably wouldn't believe that exists, and that happens to be Last Guardian 2. Wait, what the fuck? Didn't the first game take like a bajillion years to come out because it was in development hell? How the hell did they make a second one? So all jokes aside, obviously, this little series called Last Guardian has nothing to do with the one by Team Eco. This one is on the PC-98, and it happens to be another tactical RPG, but like the other one that I mentioned, this one also has a really nice art style that I really like. But then again, there's just something about the PC-98 color schemes that I just think looks really fucking great. I don't know what it is, like if you put something like that in front of me, there's a good chance I'll just end up falling off a cliff. But yeah, either Last Guardian game getting translated is perfectly okay with me, and there actually has been 2 of them that did get translated on the PC-98, being Farland Story and CRW, which is like a mech game. And the next one I'm going to talk about is Shadowrun on the Sega CD, or what I should say is the Mega CD. So this one does play a lot differently than the other Shadowrun games at the time. And also, just as an interesting fact, this was actually one of the very last games to come out on the Sega CD. It was a very late release. So as I keep saying, I really love the way this game looks. I think it just looks really awesome. It looks a lot like Snatcher, although I guess that makes sense since they're both cyberpunk. And I remember for the longest time when I heard about that there was a Shadowrun game on the Sega CD, I thought it would just be like the Genesis version, but just with more FMVs, with some CD quality audio. But no, instead it's just an entirely different game, which is always interesting. So as for the next we have is Moonlight Syndrome. So this is a very early release that came from Suda51, and it's kind of similar to games like Clock Tower and even Corpse Party. So knowing the kind of games that Suda51 is usually involved with, I can only imagine how batshit crazy this game could get. But now that we have remastered versions of both Silver Case games, it really makes me wonder if this one will also get the same treatment. But if it doesn't, then at least we can depend on the fans for that. So the next one I want to mention is Dinosaur. Yeah, the name for this game is pretty hilarious to me, so not only is it just called Dinosaur and that's it, but also it's an RPG from Falcom, so that's pretty fucking rad. But not only that, but there's no fucking dinosaurs in it. What the fuck, Falcom? You fucked up. Although, wouldn't it be cool if there was an RPG where you actually use dinosaurs? I think that'd be neat, but anyways, that's a whole other discussion. So yeah, this is an RPG that is like a first-person dungeon crawler. And it's on a couple different computer systems, and of course my favorite version of it, just from the way how it looks, is the PC-98 one for its very bright colors. And as expected from Neon Falcom, the music in this game is amazing as hell. Now one last thing I do want to mention on this game that is worth mentioning is that there is a Windows version, which is kind of like a remaster, and that happens to be Dinosaur Resurrection, but as again, it's only in Japan. But yeah, that one also has a kick-ass soundtrack as well. Alright, I'm gonna mention 2 more. So, the next one I will mention is a PS2 game called Aku Daikan. Probably fucked that one up too. Now, you're probably looking at this and thinking, what the shit is this? Okay, so the first thing I have to get out of the way is that this game actually has a lot of FMV cutscenes, just like something you'd see out of a Sega CD game or a 3DO game, so yeah, that's pretty fucking weird. And it's also cheesy as hell too, by the way. But here is the main reason why I'm interested in this game, and you probably wouldn't believe it if I told you, is that this is the only game I can think of that actually ripped off the Deception series. Okay, maybe not ripped off, that's probably not a good word to use, but more like they took a lot of inspiration from it, and that's really fucking surprising because I always found that the Deception series was one of the most unique series out there. So yeah, in this game you control a Japanese dude, and there's like a lot of people that are running after you, and the only way to take them out is that you gotta set traps and you murder the motherfuckers. So yeah, for anyone that doesn't know me very well, the Deception series from Tecmo is one of my many favorite series out there. And whenever I found out about a game that is very similar to it, of course I would like to play it, but unfortunately it seems kinda hard to play without knowing Japanese, and strangely enough, I can't even find a ROM of the game. But now let's get moving on to the last one I want to mention here, and this is a game I actually have talked about a couple times in the past, but I always like to bring it up because it is something that I really am interested in, and that happens to be a game called Watchin' Rotor on the Sega Saturn. So this is another tactical RPG, and this one has a really interesting setting. It's kind of like a steampunk setting, but also has like a lot of like really cool artwork. In fact, one of the artworks actually kind of looks like something from Ghost in the Shell, so that's pretty awesome. But one of the other main reasons why I wanted to play this one is that how I found out about the game was that the composer for the game happens to be Ian McDonald, who is a member of King Crimson. So knowing that, the OST in this game just has to be amazing, and guess what? It is fucking amazing. So if you're a King Crimson fan and you never heard of this game, I do recommend listening to the OST at the very least. It really is awesome. And I can gush about the music all day long, but Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for part 1. I am definitely going to do a part 2 and talk about more games that I think would be really cool to get a fan translation. So, in the meantime, what are some games that you think would be really cool to get a fan translation that haven't yet? Maybe I might talk a little bit about it in the next part. So, with that being said, thanks for watching and commenting, and have yourselves a great day.